Well, hello there. How is everyone? I hope you're all well. You're amazing, beautiful, wonderful people. It's late. You can see it's pretty much dark because it's like midnight here. And someone had commented saying, because I said that video that I did say in my defense, and by the way, you're looking absolutely amazing. I did say that would be the last video that I did that would speak about Dylan Mortensen and Bethany Funke. But I did, again, caveat, I said unless something explodes and blows up and they need to be spoken about again. And lo and behold, we do have some new information, which is this video here, which is from the channel Outcast. Now, I will leave this on the screen so you guys know where this is from. We shall watch it and see what it says, and also go over to the Outcast channel, show some love and affection, and let's see what this is. From looking at the comments, there does seem like there's a fair bit of, let me move that camera a little bit, that's better. There seems to be a lot of redactions. The audio may not be brilliant, but we'll see. We'll get through it. Like I say, I did see some of the comments criticising how this interview is being handled. But yeah, let's get into it. Let's get into it, shall we? Is it playing? I think it's playing. Yeah, it's playing. So we move forward a little bit. There we go.
Okay. So just take a deep breath for me. I know this isn't going to be easy. We'll kind of go from there, okay?
That camera setup's a bit weird, isn't it? He looks massive and she looks like a tiny banana person.
Can I get your name? What's your first name?
This is something that I saw in the comments. Why in the blue monkey fuck balls is this redacted like that? Like her face is redacted. We know who it is. Like redacting her name out. I don't understand. I don't get it. I don't.
What's your middle initial? And your last name? And your date of birth?
I get like the date of birth, do you know what I mean? We don't need to know that, and yeah, get that out. But your name, how many interviews are there out there? Do you know what I mean? Like crime interviews, and you know, about being transparent. The public should have access to this sort of stuff. It's just the way that the legal system should operate, and yet continuously in this fucking case, we're consistently seeing things being hidden, things being blocked, and people given special fucking treatment.
And you live there at 1122 King Road?
Yep.
What's the phone number for you?
Again, I understand this being redacted. That makes sense.
And what state you're in,
Nevada.
Could you imagine if they didn't redact a phone number?
Do you have your phone here with you? Okay. So what we're going to be doing is taking people's phones for a little while. And we're going to try and... So because I don't know if you called anyone or made any phone calls or anything like that. What they do in an investigation like this is we try and collect as much information as we can. Okay, anything that might be small, you may not think is important for us to find out what happened.
I kind of find that this is a little bit like closing a stable door after a horse has bolted. Like, they've literally had 8 hours from the period that this crime apparently took place to when law enforcement turned up at the property. You've got an 8-hour period. Then you've got this, which is at 13:50 apparently. So this is 10 hours later, and he's now interviewing.
Is very crucial. So taking something off your phone might be extremely useful for us, even if it's something that you don't realize. Okay, and we'll try to get that phone back to you as fast as we can. Okay, is that okay with you? Okay. So this is your phone here.
Yeah, can I tell my mom?
That's fine. Text your mom real quick. Yep. And then what I'm going to need is your passcode from your phone, or here between the two of us, we could even turn off your passcode, okay?
I'm guessing it's being blurred out because she's got a phone in her hand, and potentially they're scared that something will be picked up on the screen of the phone.
How do you take off? Oh.
You figured it out? Okay. And if it won't let you do it, that's fine. You can just give me or tell me what your passcode
I
is.
just don't know my.
Okay. What is your passcode?
Again, I understand why some of the redactions. I get it. So.
And what type of...
Can I see my mom text me real quick?
All right. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Okay. Any social...
I don't know whether I get like the treatment. I don't understand that, to be fair. I don't know. I don't think it would be the same in the UK. Like she's not a minor, so there isn't any reason for the parents' involvement. She's old enough, as far as I'm aware. Tell me if I'm wrong, because again, the legality in the UK may be different than the US. But you know, I don't know. I don't know. Is she getting better treatment? Bearing in mind, there's been an 8-hour period of delay between when these individuals lost their life and her now. We're 10 hours deep, and she's being interviewed seemingly with kid gloves.
Do you have like Facebook or anything like...
Redacting so much. But again, I'm guessing some of this is personal, so I suppose some of it is irrelevant anyway. But then again, you don't know what's being said because it's been redacted.
do you have any other social media type sites?
So they're going through what social media account she has. And I suppose she's given him the details of what social media she's got and where it can be found. That fucking camera. You'd think they'd mount it, like, not on something where he's going to be bouncing his fat fucking arm up and down. She's obviously got a lot of social media accounts. What the fuck are they talking about? Does all of this need to be redacted? Again, the argument's always going to be, what could they be talking about? Literally redacting the shit out of it, and you don't... Like, get like phone
So it's the
numbers,
big
date
ones?
of birth. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Get that.
Alright. So we're going to kind of go back and try and get a little bit of the timeline, okay? So what did you guys do last night? More specifically, if you were by yourself and not with that group, what is
Are you fucking joking? What?
Ethan was in the house, so was Anna.
so you were with
One of them is my roommates, and one of them is her boyfriend.
So Ethan and Xana are in the
So you were
house.
with Ethan,
And Xana.
Xana? Can you spell that for me?
X-A-N-Y. Or A-N-A, sorry.
X-A-N-A.
N-A.
Okay. Okay. So I'm just trying to. Sometimes it helps me put names together. So you were with Ethan and Xana last night.
Yeah.
At the party, I'm guessing.
And do you know Ethan's last name?
Cheated. I don't know how to spell it.
That's fine. And Xana's last name?
Kernidle.
Do you know how to spell it?
I think it's K-E-R-N-O. Maybe another O-D-L-E or something like that.
Canoodle.
Okay.
We just call them noodles. Xana Canoodle.
Okay, so you were with them at six. What time did you guys get the second guy's last name?
Around 8 something. Maybe.
Did they even know each other at all? Is that what half the fucking problem is? They were just in this house. They didn't really have anything to do with one another. Been told that they are all sort of friends and they all got on all right and all had this relationship. They can't fucking spell each other's names. Don't know how to. Oh, don't care if they're laying on the floor fucking sparked out.
So 8:30 p.m.
Something like that, yeah.
Okay.
Something like
And
that.
prior to that, were you guys just at your house? Okay, so you left from your house.
Ethan was that formal because he went with his sister because she didn't have a date. And then we were just hanging out at our house. And then he came over and we all walked over together.
Okay, so that was you, Ethan, Xana. Was there another person with you? Or just the three of you that
Maddie
walked over?
walked over with us.
And Maddie went
And
over
that's-
there with them as well.
Logan.
Logan? Is it M-A-D-D-I-E?
When was
Her real name
Kaylee?
is Madison, though, I believe.
Okay. So you guys all walked over to. You were there about 8:30. Okay. Were you guys all pretty much together, or just kind of mingling throughout the house most of the night?
We were all pretty much together, and then Maddie left to go to the club with Kaylee. And then I was with Ethan and Xana most of the night, but then one of my friends came. Her name's Steve, and I hung out with her the rest of the night.
Okay. And who was that?
Her name's
So again, redacting another name. Can that be justified? Redacting another name, I suppose so. But so they went to the party. She went to the party, stayed at the party. Maddie's left to meet Kaylee. Kaylee and Maddie go on to the corner club.
Can you spell it for me? Okay. And his last name?
I don't know how to pronounce it, and her full name is bigger than that.
Okay, that's fine. Do you have a phone number for her?
Yeah.
It's in the phone. Okay, we can get that in a minute. Okay, so you were with, and at that point, Ethan and Xana were just kind of hanging out still at the house? Okay.
And then I went to our other friend's house.
Okay. What time was that at?
I don't know, maybe like 12-ish. But that could be wrong.
No, it's fine.
Okay.
So she then goes to another house at around midnight. So what we've got to think is, because originally we were told that Xana and Ethan had gone home and had pizza at around 12 o'clock. And I queried this before because I'd said that there was a discrepancy between the story of whether Bethany stayed at the party and watched them leave, but I'd said that it seemed that that isn't the case. So it brought into question whether that story about them having pizza and going back at 12, whether that was accurate or not. It doesn't seem to be accurate. So another part of the story that has changed over time.
And where's that house?
It's just like up the street. I don't know that address.
Okay, up the street from
Sigma Chi,
okay.
kind of.
So you guys are at Sigma Chi, so you're walking back towards
We're walking back towards my house, and then we're up this way.
so like when you got to Taylor Street you went up? So if you walked all the way from Sigma News
Or Sigma
Chi, sorry.
Yeah.
This is what I don't get. This is a small fucking area, this is, isn't it? And he's like a cop from the area. Surely he'd know the places that she's talking about. He acts like he's not even from the fucking area. You don't know anything about it. The place ain't that big.
The apartments, the Whites.
Yep, I know the Whites.
It's like that street, that way.
So on Taylor?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright. Do you know roughly where on Taylor? Or does she live maybe on the other off streets?
It's on Taylor, but it's like one of the end houses by the intersection. I don't know how to explain it.
Alright. Okay. And whose house is it that you went to?
It's, and I don't know their other roommate.
None of these people know a lot, do they? Don't know a lot. Don't really know where I'm going. Don't really know how to explain that. Don't really know how to spell that name. Don't really know who that person is. Don't really know what to do.
And okay. Alright, so you're at this house. How long were you here?
Maybe like 40 minutes.
Okay.
And then I left by myself and went back to my house.
So you walked home maybe around 1-ish?
Yeah.
So she gets home around 1 a.m.
Okay. What did you see when you got home?
We're sitting on the couch watching Vampire Diaries. No one else was home yet.
So someone was this was question, wasn't it, about Vampire Diaries being watched, and that, you know, people have speculated and over the, you know, I'm here to help you, and whether that weren't actually someone saying it at all. They were actually hearing the TV playing Vampire Diaries, and that's what they heard. And that's all kind of now starting to come together and make some sense now. But why are they still fucking redacting? Like, we know who the victims are. We know who was in the house. It's out. We know. She's saying she's obviously got home. Some people are home, some people's not, or someone's home, the rest of them aren't, and they're sitting watching Vampire Diaries.
And is another roommate or what's last name?
She's a Bethany.
Oh, okay. And
I actually don't remember her last name right now.
that's fine. And does live with you guys too, or just
She's
visit?
a friend.
Okay.
And then she left.
Do you know what time she left at? Okay. But you were all watching.
Vampire Diaries.
Okay.
So they're watching Vampire Diaries. And again, I can't stress enough the importance of that. People have covered it quite extensively and shown that there is an episode where the words that have been said had apparently come from whoever entered the house to do this crime. It's more than likely this actually came from the TV, which, how does that change things? It could change things massively, because it would lead you to believe that people weren't where they said they were in this house. And in fact, it then starts throwing a spanner in the works as to how this crime actually came about. Because we've been led to believe people were in their beds and in bedrooms, and certain people were doing, on TikTok and things. But what if everybody was in the living room when this person enters the house? What if the crime just didn't happen how we've been taught? Ultimately, we've been given a story. We've been given loads of stories, and the stories have all changed. But obviously, the Brian Koberger story talks about Brian Koberger entering into the house and going into these individual rooms that raises questions. But if you remove Brian Koberger and that narrative out of the equation completely, then you look at this crime could have happened in many different ways, and they're trying to pick elements from the night that existed and then fabricate around it. Sometimes when people lie, they do pull segments of truth away from it because it makes it easier, and they also extrapolate on information because they feel that the more they extrapolate, the more truthful that their story actually sounds, when in fact liars tend to extrapolate more than people who tell the truth. But again, the Vampire Diaries is quite an interesting point here.
Anything happened during that time period?
We were just hanging out.
Okay. Do you know who else was in the house at that time?
No one.
No one? Just the three of you? Okay. So, let's go a little bit more then. What happened next?
Maddie and Kaylee came home from the club. Left.
Maddie and who?
Kaylee.
Okay.
So Maddie and Kaylee then come home. So we know that it weren't obviously Maddie and Kaylee who was in the house watching Vampire Diaries.
And they got home from the club. You know what time that might have been?
I think I told one of the cops that was talking to me at the house, better times.
It's okay.
I don't really remember right now. Maybe 2 something, 1.
So if you got home around 1, that would have put them getting home.
1:45, 2, something like that.
So 12 hours prior to this interview, pretty much bang on.
So near bar break? If you had to guess?
What?
Like near bar break?
What does that mean?
Bars normally close at 2 o'clock here.
Oh, yeah. They went to Grub Truck after, so
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay. What'd you do after that?
So she knew at this point that they'd gone to the grub truck after they left. So there'd obviously been a conversation about what they'd done and where they'd been. Potentially took food home, I'm guessing, and they knew where they got it from.
Maddie and Kaylee got home.
We all hung out in Kaylee's room for a little. And then talked, and then...
Did she say they all hung out in Kaylee's room for a bit? So Kaylee had moved out, but obviously, again, another thing that had been brought into question because her room didn't look like it had been moved out of at all. It looked like it was fully furnished in there, not the room of someone who had moved out of the property.
Maddie and I took Murphy out to pee, the dog. And then I said I was going to go to bed because I was tired. And she said she was going to go to bed too. And then I went to my room. I was going to sleep. And she came and knocked and asked if I had Murphy. And I said no. And then I went to bed.
Okay.
So this is where Murphy does a vanishing act. Obviously, her and Maddie takes Murphy out. They go back in the house. She goes back to her room. And then Maddie knocks back on her room and asks her if she's got Murphy. So he's obviously, at this point, they don't know where he is.
So what time did you think you took Murphy out?
Like 2:30
to 3?
Yeah.
Okay.
So again, think about this. Again, these times might not be 100% accurate. But we've also heard the Gonsalves family talking about the dog being taken out because apparently that was caught on one of the cameras. But 3:30, that's what she's claiming, that they're taking the dog out. Did I hear that correctly?
And where do you normally take Murphy to go to the bathroom?
Just to the back door in the kitchen.
So which one is 1122? So if I'm coming up King Road off the Taylor.
It's the big white house.
All the way at the very top on the right?
Well, it's technically on Queen, but the address is King.
Okay. So is it the one that's tucked back as you're going up to 500 Clean Road? Those big apartments? It's kind of tucked back just a little bit? Mm-hmm. Okay. So you normally go...
So again, they're acknowledging the fact that the address on this property, we've always said that, haven't we? The house actually sits on Queen Road, but the address is 1122 King Road, which I think that's where you have the issues with some of the deliveries and the people struggle to find it, which is the behaviour of the car that you see in the body cam footage. Is almost like this car's trying to look for the property and doesn't know where it is. You could almost argue that if someone who was driving that car was given the address of that house, but they weren't familiar with the area, they may initially struggle to find it. Just something to bear in mind.
Back deck then?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, I know how Cheshire then. Okay, so you go there, you and Maddie take the dog out. Mm-hmm. And then, how long do you think that took?
I was out there for maybe like 10 seconds.
Okay.
Did she say 10 seconds? So her and Maddie take Murphy out for a piss. She's out there for 10 seconds. So that's like saying, yeah, I walked out there for 10 seconds, I fucked off back in and left Maddie with Murphy then. Or did they only give him 10 seconds to have a piss? I don't know. But then Maddie apparently goes back into the house, goes to her and asks her whether she's got the dog.
Okay. So then you both come back in. So you and Maddie both
I came
back
in before she did.
Okay. Did Maddie still...
There you go. So that's answered that question. So she goes into the house and leaves Maddie outside with Murphy. Maddie then goes back into the house and then knocks on her to ask whether she's got Murphy.
The dog then?
Yes, I think so.
So you went out for a little bit, came back in. Do you know what time Maddie came back in? Mm-hmm. And you went straight to bed when you came back in? Mm-hmm. Okay. How long after you went to bed do you think Maddie came in? Actually,
I came in, grabbed some chips, went to my room, and watched a show for a little, and then I went to bed.
What were you watching?
Actually, I didn't go to... Actually, thinking about it, I didn't go to bed because I was tired. I went and got some food and went in my room and watched TV. The fuck?
It's called Baby Daddy.
Okay. How long do you think you watched it?
Maybe like 30 minutes.
So one episode maybe?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or like a half.
She must have said 2:30 then, when they took the dog out, not 3:30. Correct me if I'm wrong. So I'm just trying to add all this up.
Okay. And did Maddie come in during that show or after?
She just knocked on my door, I think, during and asked if I had Murphy, and I said no.
Okay. Then what happened after that?
I just went to bed, and then I woke up and I was like half asleep, and I just thought I saw like a firework or something, like it just sparkled like under my door, and I thought I heard like some.
So the light, obviously something lit under her door. Sort of like a firework or something under a door. Which is, again, it's quite an interesting thing. Because if you think she thinks she sees a firework shine under a door, what would cause a light, quite a bright light, to come underneath her door?
Fall, and then Murphy barked, but I thought people were just making like food, like anything was here or something, and knocked something over, because he's usually loud in the kitchen upstairs.
Okay. So what do you mean by you heard a firework?
It sounded like a little firework, and then there was like a spark by my, like, I'm on the bottom floor.
Okay.
And so it kind of looked like it came down there, but I don't know.
Because again, she's downstairs as well, isn't she? She's actually downstairs, not upstairs. So all of this is happening. You think Kaylee and Maddie are 2 floors away from her. Then you come down into Xana's floor, which is still not on her floor, but there's a flash that comes underneath her door. So if there's a flash that comes underneath her door, It's going to have to be a fucking bright flash. And I said before, this could be a taser. Do you know what I mean? This could be a taser. We haven't heard anything in documentation that would suggest one was used. Nothing at all. But it fucking makes sense, you know. From what she's saying, it would almost go hand in hand with a taser being used to potentially incapacitate someone. But then a taser, I'm talking about like a stun gun, they do make one fucking hell of a crack, you know. So I don't know whether that had been picked up potentially on the camera outside if one had have been used. And I suppose if one had been used on Xana, for instance, would you have seen so many defensive injuries because you wouldn't have been able to defend? So I don't know what the flash is under a door, unless someone was in the house with a torch and it was actually someone shining a fucking torch under there. But then firework, a weird descriptive word.
So is Murphy your dog?
Kaylee's dog.
Kaylee's dog?
Kaylee and her ex-boyfriend's dog.
Okay. So you heard Murphy bark right after you heard what you thought was a firecracker?
Yeah, something like that, but he like, I don't know, dogs bark at random things. And sometimes when he's happy, he'll bark. Okay.
It didn't sound like an angry growl or anything like that, just a bark?
I don't really know. I was like half asleep.
Okay.
It just sounded like bark.
So, hear the firework, kind of see a spark underneath the door.
Don't really know. They should get fucking hoodies made up with "don't really know" written on them. That seems to be the go-to fucking phrase, doesn't it?
Murphy barks. What'd you hear after that?
Pretty much nothing.
Nothing.
That's it.
Okay. And you thought maybe someone was just in the kitchen at that point?
Yeah, just like someone accidentally fell into the table or something.
Okay.
And she was like, with Murphy.
Do you know about what time that might have been? Do you have any idea?
4 or something. I tried to call all at like 4:20ish around that time, and no one was answering. I thought they just went to bed or something.
Okay.
So she's saying at 4:20 she was trying to call everyone. She thought everyone had, after all of the fucking firecracker and the dog bark, and that everyone just went to bed. I suppose it could be more plausible from her perspective. We'll see how this carries on. We've got 10 minutes left.
What happened after that?
Called me. She said she thinks she saw someone.
This is at the point when Dylan Mortensen has obviously contacted her and said she thought she saw someone.
I didn't know like really what to think of it, because sometimes we think we hear things a lot in the house, but it's usually just Ethan walking around. But she came. I told her to come to my room and she could sleep with me and we could lock the door and just stay in there just in case if there was anything, and that's all I know. And I fell back asleep.
So at this point, let's see how this goes on. But that she's trying to allude, and Dylan Mortensen did exactly the same, as if at this point they've heard this noise. She hasn't said anything because her story is obviously very different to Dylan Mortensen's version of events. But she's made it look like, well, I saw something under my door. I've heard the dog bark. Hadn't really thought about, Dylan Mortensen's messaged me and said she thought she fucking heard someone, saw someone, whatever. And they've gone into her room, locked the door and gone to sleep. We know that is not accurate. So at this point in this interview, 18 minutes into this interview, she is lying to this police officer.
Anything else? Okay. No one else talking? Okay. Did you make it to your room then?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What time do you think she got in your room?
Around like 4:20, 4:30.
Okay, about the same time?
Yeah.
Where's her room located to yours?
I'm the only one on the bottom floor, right by the front door.
Okay.
And then you go.
So again, confirmation, I said this, and if you've been following this case, you know, her door is right by the front door. And we were told by the neighbour, and again, I can't say this is 100% accurate, I don't know, this is just what has been said, that the front door was open. and it had been open for a while. This was reported apparently by a neighbour. So if they've gone into the room, the door at that point would have been shut. The front door would have been shut. So someone's either come into that house through the front door and left it open, if this is true, or someone's gone out of the front door, or they opened the front door. If the front door was open.
The stairs, Xana's room, and Xana's room, the kitchen, and then upstairs is Matt and Kaylee's room.
Okay. And where's the wardrobe?
Right by the kitchen.
Right by the kitchen?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And did she say anything to you when she got into the room?
She said she thought she saw a man, but I didn't know what to think of it. I was like, still half asleep, and I was like, I didn't know what to do. I don't know. Okay. It didn't sound like I didn't hear screams, I didn't hear anything. I didn't really know.
Okay.
She's saying she didn't hear what Dylan did, basically. Their stories don't kind of align with one another. Which again, it's not really indicative of anything. It just proves that they don't have the same story.
But no, so she didn't say anything more than she just saw someone.
No, that's all I remember her saying.
Fucking shaking that camera is going to give me PTSD. It's like being on a boat. Why have they redacted her? From the beginning, she weren't redacted. Why has she been all blurred out? I don't understand why she's been all blurred out. I don't get it. Don't understand.
Okay. So your bed then, if I'm looking at the right house, you have a parking lot, front door, and your bedroom's just to the right? Okay. And that's where you slept from by the time you finally got into your room around 4-ish or so. Actually, before that.
Mm-hmm. So like 3-something.
Yeah. So you were in there sleeping. Okay. Dylan got to your room maybe somewhere around 4:20-ish, but Dylan was already home at that point. You knew that Maddie and Kaylee were home. Do you know when anyone else in the house got home?
I don't know when Xana or Ethan got home. I didn't hear them come in or anything.
Okay.
So she didn't hear Xana and Ethan come in at all. Didn't hear them come in at all. Okay.
And last time you saw Xana and Ethan was at the Sigma guys.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, did you?
We'll have a look at some comments when we've finished this and just see what other people have picked up on the comments. Once again, this video is from the Outcast channel. You can see it on the screen. Head over and show some love over on Outcast's channel.
Anything weird at the party? There at the
Just a little.
Okay. And since how the way that they're set up, were everyone hanging out primarily up in the main common room area, or were most people hanging out in individual rooms and stuff like that?
It was a little bit of a mixture. At first, it was in the apartments, and then it was the main room.
Okay.
And then as I was leaving, I wanted to grab a backpack from our friend's room, and Xana and Ethan were sitting on the couch just listening to music.
Okay.
Is she going to mention the fight? Is she going to mention the fight?
In the main room, or that was in
That was in an apartment.
That was in an apartment?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Did you hear of anything that happened to anybody?
Mm-mm.
Was there anyone strange or odd hanging around the party?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Do you know of anybody in your house that has an issue with anyone? Any ex-boyfriends, Anything like that?
All their ex-boyfriends were really nice, and they still were good friends.
Okay. Have you ever had any of your roommates complain about anyone stalking them?
Once though, Kaylee said when everyone was like gone, me and were at the sorority house for a meeting, and it was only Kaylee, and she was taking Murphy out. This was a while ago, and she said she swears she saw someone staring at her while she was taking.
This was the report. I think Brian Enton spoke about this recently when Kaylee was outside, but they don't mention anything else. She also doesn't mention the fight that happened at Sigma Chi between Xana, Ethan, and obviously the was it David as well. There's no mention of that situation. Again, it's very hard to know what is accurate, what isn't accurate. The fight seems to have been confirmed through media mainly. I believe Xana Canodal's mum, Cara, had mentioned the fight. And said about Xana's father was apparently going to drive over, but he'd been drinking. But again, there's been so many fucking changes of information, you don't know what's accurate.
Remember how long ago that was?
Maybe like a month. She could see like a man silhouette like staring at her.
You think it was about a month ago?
But again, Kaylee had supposed to have moved out. So if that was someone who was stalking Kaylee, for instance, how would that individual have known that Kaylee had gone back to this property specifically on this night? You have to sort of ask that question, don't you? So again, an odd one.
Did Kaylee have any issues with anyone? Okay.
Is he wondering what to fucking ask her next or whatever? I've never seen such a fucking pause bloody interview in my life. What can I ask now? What can I ask? What can I ask?
None of them have made any comments or statements of anyone trying to come onto them or anything like that? And you said that all of the ex-boyfriends and that, they're all normally very nice and stuff like that. Are any of them fairly recent breakups?
One, but
Like I said, every little bit helps. Can you give me a little information on that one?
his name's
That sounded like Jack, even though they'd redacted it. It did sound like she said Jack.
he lives.
Okay. Where's he live?
Down the street.
On Taylor?
On King, I think.
Okay.
And he and Kaylee share Murphy.
Okay.
Didn't redact that, did they?
And they dated for 7 years.
And that's in Kaylee?
Or something like that.
And they dated for 7 years?
Something like that. Since high school. Their families were really close too.
Okay. And they shared Murphy?
I think.
I think. Why can't anybody give a fucking straight answer?
Okay. How long did they break up?
Maybe like 3 months or something. But they're still on really good terms.
Do you know why they broke up?
She was gonna move to Texas.
She was going to move. Sounds like she changed her fucking mind.
Where's Kaylee from?
Portland.
Okay.
Camera. You're doing my head in, fat arm.
Where is it from?
Portland.
Okay. are still on good terms? They still talk to
Very
each
good
other?
terms, yeah.
Okay. Has Kaylee been seeing anyone else lately?
Not really that I know of.
Okay.
Not really that I know of. No would suffice, because anything other than a no kind of means yes. Speculation.
Do you know when she was going to move to Texas?
After the semester. But then apparently she wasn't going to anymore. I don't know.
Do you know when
So she said she weren't going to move anymore. So she was going to move. She's saying that she weren't going to move anymore. I think the Gonsalves family had said that she was moving, got a job set up, and she'd already pretty much moved out, and she only went back because she was called over by Dylan Mortensen. But again, we don't know if that fucking story's accurate.
Do you mind?
I think she wanted to stay here with all of us.
Is there anything else you think is important for me to know? And you might remember things later. That's very normal, okay? If you think you remember anything else, please reach back out to us and bring me back in and we'll get that information, okay?
It's so kid gloves, man. Kid gloves. Absolute kid gloves, isn't it?
Just gonna go back to my notes real quick before I let you go, okay? And you don't remember Kaylee's last name?
Gonsalves.
Gonsalves?
Yeah, Gonsalves.
Okay, can you spell it for me?
I don't know how to spell it.
Oh, that's right, sorry.
No, you're good.
Okay.
Don't know how to spell it. Oh, fuck. They don't know how to spell names. They don't know how to pronounce names. Don't really know anything.
Okay.
This is pretty much coming to an end.
Alright, yeah, I very much thank you for sitting down with me, okay? I'm going to take you back to the other room so you can be with your friend, alright? Are you sure there's nothing else?
I'm going to take you out of the room so you can be with your friend. So if there's anything that you want to corroborate with your friend and make up a fucking story, you can. Fucking odd, innit? Really odd. Let's have a look at what we got in the comments. We'll have a look at newest first, see what people are picking up on. Did I hear that right? She went to borrow a backpack from one of her friends. She said she went to get a backpack, yeah. If you're crying, you're a lion. It is the video interview mentioned in Sub 89 Redacted by Sergeant Dustin Blaker. Yeah, when the hell did you get her? It was Anna and Ethan were at Sigma Chi before coming home. Yeah, which we know that they were there because they were apparently there and had there was apparently a fight there. Why did she say BF's room was to the right? That's the empty room, hers is to the left, but she agreed with him. Yeah, I thought that her room was to the left, not to the right. What's the point of this if they block most of it out? I can't stand that shit. Good question. Good question. If you still blame these girls, you have actual dead maggots in your brain. Lobotomise yourselves. Dead maggots in your brain, so they're not actually doing anything. It's not about blaming the girls, is it? She literally lied in the interview. By stating that after Dylan Mortensen came into her room, that they went to sleep. We know that they weren't. They were awake literally for hours on their phones. I don't know. Let me know what you think, because it's like it's getting on for 1 o'clock here now. Let me know what you think. Perhaps we'll get together in a couple of days, probably Monday, because I've got the wellness live on Sunday, and we'll knock heads on Monday live, shall we? Take care, love you all, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Mwah.